Hi, it's Jen Rostine. I wanted to give you a quick recipe for kabocha curry. I love curries, and I got this recipe from Rainbow Plant Life. I've adapted it a little bit to what works for our families, but feel free to check out the website at Rainbow Plant Life and get the full-on recipe and instructional video there. It's fantastic. So it's very simple. First of all, you grab a kabocha squash at the grocery store. They're like these big dark green pumpkin-y looking things in the winter squash section of your grocery store. So you need one of those. You'll chop it in half, take out the seeds, save the seeds. I'll get to those at the end, but take out the seeds and chop it up. It's awesome because you don't have to peel it. So you just cook the whole thing, skin and all. It's fantastic. So again, a small to medium-sized kabocha squash. You're gonna need at least one onion. Sometimes I go a little crazy and put 2-3 onions in. You can never have too many onions in your kabocha curry. And a handful of garlic. Another thing you can never have too much of in a kabocha curry, garlic. So we use field garlic right now. It's growing wild around our house, and I pick it, clean it, and use a lot of field garlic. So a nice, good handful of garlic. Also, I use about 12 ounces of mushrooms. I love that mushroomy, deep, earthy flavor, so I chop up about 12 ounces of mushrooms, more or less, depending on what's in my fridge. And you throw that in your stock pot, and you just mix that up, and that's going to get good, and the onions will get translucent. The kabocha squash is going to start to get mushy. When that happens, throw in about 2 cups of chickpeas, and mix that all up, and then you're gonna add your flavoring. So you'll take about a 2-inch chunk of fresh ginger. And the way you treat ginger is you just break off a chunk, and you can peel it with a spoon. So you peel the peel off, and then you shred the rest of it on your grater. I just use a grater. And then throw that all in the stock pot. You're gonna add about a teaspoon of turmeric, 2 teaspoons of lime juice. We do 2 tablespoons of lime juice. 2 tablespoons of lime juice. I do 2 tablespoons of red curry paste because we have a 10-year-old in the family. So you may want to increase that. Also 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, and then half a cup of coconut milk. Again, I think the recipe originally calls for a full can of coconut milk, but we try to pay attention to fat content, so I cut that back to about a half a cup of coconut milk. And then 1 to 4 cups of veg stock. So that is going to depend on the size of your squash and the texture that you like in a stew. So of course, the more veg stock you use, the more watery it's going to be, but that kabocha squash is going to break down and become, like, it's going to thicken the soup almost like a pumpkin would. So keep that in mind. Just let it sit and bubble away on your stove. It is so stinking good. You'll be so thrilled that you tried it. Also, I wanted to get back to the seeds, so the kabocha squash. So, in the fall here in the Northeast, we scrape out pumpkins and collect the pumpkin seeds, and then you clean them off and salt them a little bit, and then throw them in the air fryer or the oven. My oven is, of course, still not working, so we're using the air fryer for anything baked. So I just I get the seeds, and then I mix them in a little salt and throw them in my air fryer, and then they'll start to pop in there, and they're wonderful, and they get nice and toasty, and they're fantastic. So they're great to put on the curry if you are able to do that, if you like them. Or, and the way it works in my house is I put them in a little dish to cool, and then by the time we sit down to eat, my husband and son have eaten them all, so there's nothing to garnish with. So, but they are fantastic, and I recommend you try it. So again, please check out Rainbow Plant Life. That is where I got the recipe, modified it a little bit, of course, for whole food, plant-based, and for my family. I hope that you enjoy it, and let me know how it goes. Thank you. Take care. Bye.